you say what the problem is?
Well, the problem is that we have a lot of these thick, heavy, thick lugs here. And this is the longest bolt that came with these batteries. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put, since I was long, you don't have to put everything on the same one. I'm going to put these thick ones on this one here, and then I'm going to put these smaller ones on the other positive. Okay. So, and it'll work out. Hopefully. If not, we're going to have to get longer bolts. Ah, darn it. Forgotten one cable. I've been fighting with the bolt for the battery for the past, I don't know, maybe an hour. And I was just a little bit short. I just couldn't thread the thing in. So I had to go to the store, get some bolts, just a little bit longer. Let's hope these will work. Oh. Like 2 hours, two hours or more. At least 2 hours. Trying to put these bolts in place here. It's just such a tight space. This little one wouldn't go in. I had to buy bigger bolts, but now you have the issue of if you don't put enough washers, if you don't have enough washers in there, then you run the risk of running the bolt all the way down, and then your cables are still loose. So it took me quite a bit because these negatives are all in the corner there. The positives are in the front, the negatives are in the back. This is the way that the two batteries would fit better. So unfortunately the negative is all the way in the back, which is a pain. And when you connect the batteries, you should connect positive first, negative last. And when you disconnect, negative first, positive last. That's why the negatives all the way in the back had to be the last one to be connected. There's the inverter up there, fuse for the inverter. I still have to tighten these batteries down, make sure. Making a high production video over here. Took me quite a bit to get the bolt in there, and then when I tightened the bolt all the way, it was still loose. It needed one more washer. So guess what? I had to take it all out, put another washer in there, and now it seems to be okay. So now I have everything connected, and now I just need to go get Lidia so we can see if stuff works in here.
Yes, boss.
Hi Lidia, you want to come over here and see if this thing works?
Okay, I'll be right there.
Alright, bye. I hope it works. That light for the propane alarm is on. So that works. So let's see.
Refrigerator?
Ah, why not? Let's see if the refrigerator works. Do you want to try, or should I do it?
You do it, Louis.
Okay, let's see.
Just hit the on button. That didn't go on, Louis. Maybe it's not enough power.
Okay, that's not turning on.
That was a fail.
That is a fail.
All right, let's turn the fan on.
All right, turn on the fan.
What?
Scared you. Turn on the fan.
The fan doesn't work, Louis.
Well, you have to open it, Lidia.
Oh, I forgot. I gotta open it.
Okay, turn it on.
All right, here goes, Louis. We're gonna. Oh, it's
the
working.
Fan works.
I haven't been up so long.
We got power. We got power.
All right, let's try the light. Let's try this light.
The light works. What about these over here? These don't have a fuse, right?
Try this, Louis. This light is on. The rear light is on. Look. Does that work, Louis?
Well, this is probably connected to the other fuse over here. Alright, Lydia's Wi-Fi Ranger works. This is the meter for the charge controller. Plug this in and see how it works. Okay, it's not working. It's not on yet because I didn't turn on the breaker from... Actually, I could do that. The breaker from the battery. So let me turn that on. And we got power. 12.6 volts. Still okay. It needs power. Has been unplugged for a couple weeks. But everything seems to be working except for that one fuse that's not working. And she had that problem before with the other battery. And we still have that problem. It's like there's too much current on that one fuse. I don't know why. When I put my multimeter on it, it gives me a reading of 13 something amps. And then when I put it on other fuses, it gives me a lower reading. So I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. I'm not an expert. Everything else works. These overhead lights work on this side. Wi-Fi Ranger works. But I don't know what the problem is with that. I'm thinking it's probably a short somewhere. Something is going on. There's too much current going through that fuse. And I don't know why. I may not be able to fix that for Lydia. I told her that if we still had that problem, I may not be able to fix it. Because like I said, I'm not an expert. I can plug everything in. And everything that I've done, I know what needs to be done the right way. But I just don't know what's going on with that particular fuse. I try to follow the wire that connects to that fuse, and it goes behind the counter all the way in the corner of the RV, and I can't reach it. And it's tied up with other cables, like a couple dozen other cables. It's pretty much impossible to follow that cable unless I take a lot of things apart. Unfortunately, Lydia is still having problems, or we are still having problems with that number 4 fuse. It's still giving us problems. I had a feeling that we would still have problems after I did this installation, because when that fuse was connected to that one battery that was on the side of the camper, that thing was always blowing. Now here's the thing. When Lydia bought the camper, the previous owner already had issues with that fuse, and when he handed over the camper to Lydia, he even came prepared with extra fuses, and he told her that if you have issues, just replace the fuse. So there's a short there somewhere that over time got worse and worse. So for in the beginning, that thing would short after weeks or a month or so, and she had to replace the fuse. And now it got to the point where you put the fuse in there and it doesn't even work. It pops the fuse right away. So I'm gonna have to follow those leads. I got to see where those wires connect to, and what I'm going to have to probably end up doing is run new wires directly from whatever that wire connects to. I have to look over here at the manual, at the schematics, and just run new wires and just totally forget about that old one. And right now I'm going to try to figure out the refrigerator, because her refrigerator right now isn't working. And according to the schematics, the refrigerator the 12 volt part does not connect directly to the fuse box. This is the fuse box right here. The 12 volt, the refrigerator goes and connects over here to a 40 amp circuit breaker. So I don't know why they did that, but I'm going to follow the wires that come from the refrigerator. I'm going to see where they lead, and I think what I'm going to just do, and it's probably the best option, is connect them directly to my new fuse box that I installed for Lidia. This way she'll be able to run the refrigerator all day long as she has sun, without using propane, and probably even at night, because I don't know how many amps this uses, but probably not a lot of amps. So it's a question of trial and error. So she'll just have to leave it running at night and monitor the amps on the batteries, and if she can run her all night, she can save a lot of propane right there, and a lot of headaches, because every time she stops somewhere she has to turn on the propane, do this, do that, and now she doesn't have to do that anymore. So let's follow those wires, find out where they go, and go from there. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your paths straight. Proverbs 3:5-6.